What's good, my lovely spirits? It's your main man Solace here, the humbled wise one. Today I want to do this video discussing the importance of breastfeeding. Now, this is a very important topic and it's overlooked, but I feel like all women should have sufficient knowledge on the purposes of breastfeeding. Now, we all know when a woman gives birth, she has two options of feeding the child. She can breastfeed the child, or she can give the child Similac, which is a supplement. Now, we have to understand, supplement means a replacement, but it doesn't mean that it is that thing. It just means it's a replacement for it. So you have to understand, a replacement hip is not a hip, but it is a replacement of a hip. And it is to act like the hip. But it is not the hip, and it is not better than the hip. Now, most people know that Similac is not better than real milk. But people don't truly understand what breast milk is. So this is why they'll give their child Similac as a supplement for breast milk. Because in today's knowledge, Similac isn't better than breast milk, but it's good. And this is not true. It's a very deep thing. First, I want to get into the breast milk. Now, we have to understand the correlation of breast milk to the baby, because we look at it as just milk. So you have to grasp, in your mind, the baby eats the same thing every day, which is milk. But this is not true. See, you eat a variety of things so that you can get the variety of proteins and nutrients you may need. So it's a deep thing. If you need calcium, you may eat an orange. If you need iron, you may eat greens. So you have a variety of food to sustain you in a variety of different ways. Now, when we look at the baby milk, it appears as if the baby is eating the same thing every day. But this is not true. Every day, the baby is eating a different meal through the milk. So you have to understand, the milk correlates and grows with the baby. It's almost like they have a relationship. So you have to grasp, as the baby grows, the milk changes and adjusts to what the baby may need. So let's say the baby is born and the baby is low in iron. The milk will produce more iron for the baby. So you can say the meal was changed to correlate with the baby. So it's a deep thing. If the baby needs more calcium, let's say, the milk will adjust to that. Now, I know a lot of y'all will say, how does breast milk know what a baby needs? If breast milk don't have brains, and this is where y'all need understanding. See, breasts have alveolar cells within them, and they're changing the sperm or the semen over into breast milk. So when a woman gets pregnant, she has semen inside of her. That semen, after it turns into whatever it turns into, it's transferred over and made into breast milk by the alveolar cells. These are the microcells within the woman. So you can look at these microcells as a chef, and it's their job every day to feed the baby or serve the baby what it needs. So the alveolar cells turn the semen over into milk. And it's a deep thing because the alveolar cells are living life. So it's making the milk however it needs to be for the baby. And it's adjusting per serving. Meaning every time the baby feeds, the milk is slightly changed and adjusted to the baby on its own. And it's a deep thing because when the baby sucks on the titty, The saliva from the baby is on the breast. And this is how the alveolar cells know what the baby needs. Does the baby need more iron? Does the baby need more calcium? Does the baby need this? Does it need that? So through the saliva of the baby touching the nipple, it transfers information to the alveolar cells, letting them know what the baby is lacking or may have too much of, so it can adjust the dosage of the milk. So it's a deep thing you have to grasp. Now, when the baby is being fed, you figure the first month after the birth, that milk is different 6 months later. So you have different stages that the milk goes through. So a 6 month old baby breastfeeding would not be sucking the same milk that it was sucking at 1 month. The milk would have changed. So it's a deep thing. You have colostrum, transitional, and mature milk. The 3 different stages that the milk goes through as the baby's feeding. So I just wanted to point that out so you can see when I say the milk is not the same every day. Even scientists have it as the milk changes, but they only have it changing 3 times. But it truly changes every time the baby sucks. It may be just a small adjustment, but that small adjustment is detrimental to that weak life. So you have to grasp how deep it is. Now, Similac. This is a supplement, meaning it's an imitation of milk. It's not going to do the same things that I just broke down. The Similac doesn't have a brain. It doesn't have micro cells working it, adjusting it for the baby. It doesn't have none of this. It was made in a lab. It's powder. So you have to grasp, when you feed your baby Similac, you are feeding them fake food. Now I know it passed the food test, but y'all have to understand how they do the food test. They don't test the food out to see if it's good for you. They test the food out to see if it doesn't kill you. So when they test the Similac out, they're testing it just to see if it doesn't kill the baby. And being as though it doesn't kill the baby, this makes it good. But they never check to see how good it is for the baby truly, and what will be the side effects in none of this. They don't see any major side effects, so it is good as a supplement. Now you have to understand, when you take supplement pills, these are not real. They're an imitation of whatever you're replacing. So if you're low on iron, you may take iron vitamins or iron pills. But this is not the same as you eating greens and getting the iron that you need. So it's a deep thing we have to grasp what supplement means. It means a replacement, but it doesn't mean it's the same thing. It doesn't mean it's going to do the same thing for you. It just means this is good as a replacement, like a cane or a fake leg. It's a good replacement if you don't have a leg. But if you have a leg is better than a replacement leg. So you have to grasp, this is what Similac is. When you feed your child Similac, you are feeding your child fake food. And it's so deep. Now, I know a lot of y'all will say, well, why is it that you can't really tell any big difference between a child that was fed Similac and a child that was breastfed? Because I know they say all the stuff like, oh, children that were breastfed, they have better attention than those that wasn't. And they give y'all the simple-minded differences in a child that's fed Similac and a child that's breastfed. But there's no major differences. So I know a lot of y'all are like, well, what's the difference then? If Similac is fake food and breast milk is real food, why don't we see any true, real difference in the children? And it's a simple reason why. Because look at it like this. The child that is breastfed, the moment he goes off of milk, he eats what we eat. Now, everything we eat is GMO, are fake artificial food. You have to grasp it's a deep thing. And this is why you don't see any difference. Because the baby that was drinking Similac is eating fake food. And then when he gets off the Similac, he goes to eating more fake food, which is the food we eat. Now the baby that is breastfed, when he goes off of breastfeeding, he eats the same food we eat, which is fake. So this is why you see no difference. Because the moment you take the baby off the breast milk, you fill him up with fake food. You don't continue giving him natural, fresh food. See, I have to grasp, all the food that we eat is old. I don't care where you bought it from. If you didn't buy it from a farm, it's old. You have to understand, food comes from farms. Then it's sent to stores. This takes time. Then it must be packaged and processed. That takes more time. So there's no food you've bought out of a store fresh, ever. I don't care what it says. They're not in the back slaughtering animals and chopping up the meat. So you have to grasp, the meat is being shipped. The fruit are being shipped. And they're being frozen and basically genetically modified so that they stay fresh. It's like a dead body. We embalm a dead body so that it looks fresh still. But the body is dead. So you have to grasp. It's the same with the food. They shoot it up to make it still look fresh. But the food is old. All the food we eat is old. A month or better old. Most of the food we eat are artificially flavored or artificial in some way, meaning it's fake. So you have to grasp that. Between eating old food and artificial food, you're pretty much eating a stale diet. Stale food and fake food is your diet. And this is the diet that the baby eats. Because our children eat what we eat. So it's a deep thing you have to grasp. This is why you don't see no difference. Because once the baby comes off the breast milk, it is fed fake food. Just like everybody. And artificial food and all of that. Candy is artificial fruit. It's not going to sustain you like fruit. It is going to have a effect on you over time. Candy. It'll affect your teeth and your insides. The fruit won't. So it's small little differences like that the breast milk and the Similac have. The Similac is not adjusting itself to the baby. You have to go into the store and say, I'm going to give my baby this Similac, the advanced one, not the newborn one. So you have to try to figure out which one. Mind you, the breast milk does it on its own because the breast and the baby already have a relationship. Those breasts are for the baby. That milk is for that baby. So you have to grasp. Even when, like back in slavery, the slave masters' wives would let the slaves breastfeed their baby. So whatever slave just had a baby, the slave master's wife would let her breastfeed her baby. As opposed to messing up her breast, she'd let the slave breastfeed her child. And this is not a good thing because that woman's breast is for that child. And the alveolar cells within her are working that milk for that child. It's communicating with that child through the saliva, knowing what the child needs. So when you breastfeed another child with your breast, you're confusing the microcell life within you. Now, this is not going to have a harmful effect because you have to grasp. It's still real food. So nothing's worse than Similac. You're better letting your baby suck someone else's titty than giving them Similac. But we have to understand the breasts are decoded for the baby. They're encoded for the baby, and the alveolar cells within them are like the chefs for the baby. They make the milk however the baby needs. The baby may feed right now. The next time it feeds, the milk will not be exactly the same as the last feeding. It will be slightly different and adjusted to whatever the baby may need more of or less of. So it's a deep thing y'all have to grasp. Feed your baby breast milk. It's a deep thing. It's your main man, Solace.